So the title is called He or God Gave It a Grow. And I take it from 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 6 to 8. And thank you for Jimmy. Guess what? Sometime this morning, not even last night, I went to bed already about 2 a.m. He emailed me and he said, Pastor Raymond, you said on your text is chapter 3, 6 to 8, but then you text me 3 to 6. So what's going on? So I'm glad that I saw it this morning. It should be 6 to 8, 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6 to 8. So allow me to read it first, and then we're going to go into the sermon. Again, the title is called He Gave the Growth. Okay. I planted, Apollo watered, but God gave the growth. So neither he who plants or he who waters is anything, but only God who gives the growth. He who plants and he who waters are one, and each will receive his wages according to his labor. Again, I plant, Apollo water, but God gave the growth. So in 2022, if you remember the slogan for the whole church, if you remember, I buy your Bible after the service. Who remember? If you remember. I asked my brother, I asked Eric to buy your Bible. If you remember, the slogan for our church in 2022, it was abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you abide in me, I abide in you, then you will bear much fruit. Without abide in me, then you can do nothing or bear nothing. Abide, because we in a pandemic, right? So if you don't abide in Christ, and if you are a vine and you break from if you are a branch, you break from the vine, basically, you basically will be wither and gather and be burned, so become basically no good. So that's what 2022. Now, I give you another test. What is about 2023? If you remember slogan, which is just last year. I did get a chance to come up here, and I did say a few times, if you don't remember, it's fine. I just want you to be awake. That's all it is, okay? Don't feel bad. So 2023 was live out your faith. Be holy, because I am holy. I took the verse from 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 16. Be holy, because I'm holy, right? And living out your faith. And one of the way that we're living our faith, whether you like or you don't, you agree or you disagree, we did try to live out our faith. As a group, we went to Vietnam and proclaimed the gospel there, and also encouraged myself and my family and also the church as well. We need to live our faith. And it's not written in my sermon, but one of the reasons I wanted to go back to Vietnam, and here's the reason. There is a verse in John chapter 10, verse 10. It said, the thief come to steal, kill, and destroy. The thief represents the devil, right? You live in this universe, you have two forces. One is the devil, and the second force is the Holy Spirit. So the thief, if you're not in God and you in the world, the thief come try to steal, kill, and destroy. That means Jesus Christ come so that you, the sheep can have life and have life abundantly. Abundantly mean to me, again, this is off my sermon a little bit. Abundantly, that caused me to go to Vietnam because I want people to live out their faith. You don't cut life, you don't cheat people and expect that you're going to be prosper. It ain't going to happen, right? It's just the short term, it may be you have a personal gain, but long term, you kind of not really doing any better for yourself and for the people that living in the same village or same city with you. So live out your faith is very important. And I would like myself and all of you to take that approach, live out our faith. What God tells us to do, be kind as an example, then be kind to others. Be generous and be generous to others. So live out your faith. That's what's in 2023. In 2024, where we are here today, it's going to be growth. We have to grow. The church have to grow. Personally, we need to grow. We cannot just stand in one place and not grow. So that's the reason I pick Corinthian. Okay, and here's the Corinthian. Apostle Paul. Okay, and First Corinthians basically was written approximately in year 52, which is approximately about 2,000 years ago. And Apostle Paul, the one that founded the church in Corinthian in the first century. And Corinthian is a large city, it's a Greek culture, and the capital of province called Achaia, which is we call back then called Asia, New Asia at that time. Right now is in area of Crete. I cannot say that word. Greeks, okay, in that area, in that time. And the Corinthian is belong to Empire Romans. The city is famous with trade and cultures and also religious. And the life that they have there is called the brave life that in that city, immoral, another way of saying it, right? And that's the city by itself, city of Corinthian. And in the church at that particular time, is a mess in Corinthian. For example, the people, when they go to a meal, a communion, the meal together, they fight. They don't even wait for each other. Just imagine that, right? You're in a church setting, and when you're eating, regardless you're old, you're young, you go and get your food first, and regardless of the rest of people. The rich will eat more and eat first, and the poor, go to you. It's a mess. So that is inside the church. Divisions, my faith is better than yours. I know God more than you. They fight, divide, right? And besides fighting and in the church, then sexual immoral. I'm not going to go into detail, but if you want to read about the church in Corinthians, chapter 4, 5, 6, and 7, basically outline all those is going on in that era, and marriage is the same. The order of the church, whatever you feel like you want to speak, you stood up, you speak in the middle of the service, basically is out of order. So it gives you a picture of the city, maybe close to San Francisco or the Bay Area, and the church is fighting and disagreement and so on and so on. It's completely disarray. Can we say similar to our society today? The answer is yes. Can we say it's similarly, not exactly, I'm not trying to downgrade our church or any local church, but can we say the same thing in the local church these days? The answer is yes. Very similar to this day. So why did I pick Corinthian? The reason I picked Corinthian, and in 2024, the slogan for our church is growth. Some of you may think, wow, we can't really grow because our small group, we don't even get along together. We fight, and that person I don't get along, and that person is not really holy. We need to get our house in order for us to grow, right? And I may agree with you, but at the same time, the Bible says differently, right? When Apostle Paul wrote the Corinthian, the church is in disarray, like I said, but it does not mean that we don't grow. And that's why I use the verse 6. It said, I plan, Paul plan, Apollo is another disciple or another apostle, water. I do something, the other person do something, right? But God is the one that make it grow. And the reason that Paul say, I planted and Apollo water, simply is, because I talk about disarray church, right? Disorganized and then fighting in the church. And somebody said, you know what? I follow Paul, he's holy. And another person said, I follow Apollo, he is the teacher, not Paul. So they use even that to fight each other. So Paul come and said, I water, or I planted, and he watered it. But remember, God is the one who make it grow. So, two thoughts. Should we wait until that the EM, the Newark Church, in order for us to grow? Should we? Or should we grow? according to Corinthians, is we should grow regardless of the condition of the church today. We should grow. So therefore, in 2024, but hopefully that you and I, all together, we should grow regardless of where we are today. If you feel like we're not strong, it is so. If you feel like we're not holy enough, it is so. But at the same time, remember, I can plan, or you can plan, or I can water, or you can water, but God will make it grow. So 2 things that I will talk to you about today. Accept our EM, our church as a whole, that we have issue not fighting, not even bad, nearly as bad as the first church of Corinthians. We may have things that is not in place yet. We may not be perfect yet, another way of saying, but we need to grow. Okay? So can you accept that we're not perfect? Yes or no? Somebody talking to me through yes, accept that we're not perfect. And if you accept that we're not perfect, I'm asking you, can you join me and join all of us together that we need to grow? No? Too much work? Somebody at least say amen. You believe that we need to grow? Okay. Except 2 things I'm asking of you. 1 is we're not perfect. And 2 is we have to grow. Okay? And how do we grow? Paul said, Apostle Paul said, I planted, Apollo watered, but God gave it grow. So let's talk about the one that plant. Okay? What does that mean to plant? The plant, in order for a person to plant, you need a seed. All it is, you plant something, you need a seed, right? What is the seed in Christianity? What is the seed? The seed in Christianity is Jesus Christ. If you think you're perfect or you're imperfect, great. If you think you're perfect, probably you're not, because somebody else, I can guarantee you not to try to shoot you down, but somebody will say, no, you're not perfect, right? So you're not perfect. But that's the same reason that we need Jesus Christ, because that is our seed of Christianity. If we don't have that seed, so every single day, hopefully, me and you said, God, I need you, I need Jesus, I need the seed. Do you agree with me? You need a seed, you need Jesus Christ. Yes or no? Okay, you need the seed. So if you have the seed and you plant it, and if we go back in 2023 as a slogan, we living our faith. Be holy. Just basically living our faith. Knowing that you need the seed and you have the seed in you, you have Jesus Christ in you. When you plant it, let's start with yourself. Live out our faith. Right? Well, and being a pastor, here's one of the difficult things. Good blessing, but it's also difficult. And I'm not speaking up here. Downstairs, I have that issue. And not only me having issue, I have to want you so that you don't feel like I'm speaking to you particularly. Every single pastor have this issue. When I speak of the passage, somebody in the congregations will say, oh, he picked me out. He picked on me. So let me warn you, I do not pick on you. Okay? I'm using the word of God from 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I'm talking about planting. I'm talking about growing. And God will make it grow. I don't pick on anybody. The reason is, as a pastor, people tell you stuff, right? People tell you stuff. And when you use the Bible, they think that you pick on. I'm not. So get that clear. Planted, you have the seed of Jesus Christ. That is the seed that we need. We all need that seed. And if you have that seed and you plant something, it's the same thing. You let the seed grow. And how do you plant? You live out your faith. How do you live out your faith? You live out your faith by accept there is a God. And how you conduct yourself in a community like this, how you conduct yourself at home, how you conduct yourself with the sibling. When they see you, do they see the seed? If they don't see the seed, how are they going to grow? That's how you plan. Simply that they have to see the seed. So, one person is a planter. When you come into the congregations or into the small even service like 5, 10, or 20 or less than 20 of us right here, what did you do so that people can see the seed of Christ in you? Right? You can cast out the seed. You can maybe say, make hello, make a hi, and make somebody feel comfortable. That's a start. That's a planting, a seed right here. Right? Sometimes giving people a drink of water, even though you don't want to do it, but you're planting something. Live out your faith, basically. The way that you conduct yourself, that people looking at you said, you know what, there's a difference in that person. They do something that, other people don't do. That you're planning something. It also means that when you meet somebody brand new, outside, your neighbor, your co-worker, somebody you meet on the street, somebody you meet in Safeway, Costco, right? If you have a chance to contact with a person, will they know that you're a Christian? By how you function, how you pay attention to them, or you don't pay attention to them. Or give you an example. This is happening to me, and I was grateful. There's some time I was in Costco, and I buy maybe 1 or 2 items only. And then the probably it's not that many people, but 2 or 3 people in front of me. And the guy in front of me, I even forgot he's the guy or the man in front of me, right? And he turned around, he see me holding 2 items. And he said, oh, you only have 2 items. Would you like to go in front of me? He did not know that I'm maybe in a hurry, that I have to meet somebody, I have to be somewhere. But just being kind. And I said, hey, go in front, it's okay. I have time today, and why don't you take my place? I look, he did not know, but I look up and said, great, thanks God that I may be in a hurry, that I have time, that I have to meet, and here's somebody out of blue, do not even know, but he extend his kindness to me. Right? So when you plant a seed, if somebody come across to you, because you have a seed in you and you're going to plant something, even with a short seconds, a minute, will a person know that you belong to God? When you have somebody that you know for years, and certainly somehow that you come into contact, do they see the difference that now you're a Christian? Invite them to church. You don't have to preach them till they run away next time they saw you, but you simply invite them. Hey, I joined this church and I would like you to come. Plant a seed. I had a friend, I know probably, I've been married for 21 years. Last year was 30. This year, 21 years. And I invited somebody I met before I got even married. Right? I invited them to my anniversary. I used the anniversary as a gateway to invite them, and they came. Right? And from then, I was able to contact with husband and wife, and the husband had the 94 years old dad staying in a nursing home right now. I used that opportunity and go and visit. His name is Tony, and Tony's dad is 94 years old. So I said, hey, Tony, I would like to drop by and see your dad, whom I haven't seen probably for many, many years. Planting a seed. And when you plant a seed, God opened up the door. Right? So Tony has a sister, her name is Kim. And Kim is a little older than me. She's 63 years old. When Tony told Kim, hey, I have an old friend that come by and see our dad, and he's a pastor. And Kim said, oh, I want to see him, I want to meet him. Because she just got a stroke a few months ago. I want the pastor to pray for me. So when I see the 94 years old Tony's dad in Fremont last week, and Kim's Tony's sister came along, and I prayed for Kim. I shared with Kim about Hey, invite, not share, but invite. I said, yes, I'm pastor. I would like to invite you to the church. Yes, last week it was New Year's. Great time to invite them. But Vietnamese culture, they also have their own celebration. So she didn't come, but eventually she will come. So we established a good relationship. I'm planting a seed, all it is. There is a book called 8 to 15. I don't remember everything about the book, but every single person in this room, God entrusted you between 8 to 15 people. What are you going to do to those 8 and 15 people you come across? Somebody may come across a lot more. Like Dean, you probably come across 80,000 people, not 8, right? Some people more, some people less, but minimally 8 to 15 people. What are you going to do with them? Can you plant a seed? Just invite them to church. That's how we're going to grow. So I'm talking about planting. I haven't talked about water yet. I'm talking about he who make it grow or God make it grow yet. So plant a seed. Number one is live out your faith. The people you come in contact, do they feel the presence of God and feel so good that they want to be around you? Here, right here, at home, in your own community. The people that you meet in life, in supermarket, in work, in old friend, would it be possible that you extend the invitation, plant a seed, invite them to church? If you don't, who else? Imagine, I can guarantee you have 8 to 15 people in your circle of friends. When was the last time? I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I just ask a question to raise up our thinking. When's the last time you invite somebody that you know for many years, said, hey, would you like to come to church? Plant a seed. If they say no, at least you invite them. Sincerely, do not say it. Invite them just because today I remind you, and you force yourself. Sincerely plant a seed. So that's one. Make yourself available. Invite people who you meet on the street, school, work, wherever. When you come into the community, making sure that other people see you and they want to come back because of you, because of how you conduct yourself. Other way of saying, do your part. Second, similarly to a person that plant, now you water, right? I kind of jokingly, but I could go back and use that joke right now. In the church, it's supposed to be a community, supposed to be understanding, supposed to be supporting. If you do, I don't know if you do, and this is the exact point, I don't know if you do. If you have the issue, would you able to even share with a person and not being judged? Water. The person next to you may be going through turmoil in her mind or his mind. But yet you're sitting here. Hopefully, Pastor Raymond will finish sooner so I can leave and things go back to where it is. What is the point that you and I come? Time is precious. And we come here. You're kidding yourself. You're kidding next to the person. It brings no value to you or to the next person. Water. How can you water each other? Another word of taking care of yourself. Be vulnerable. Be open. Make people feel comfortable to you that they say, hey, I just have a tough time. You don't have to say, oh, what is the tough time? If they will tell you that it was great, oh, yeah. Let me pray for you. Allow them an opportunity, create the environment so that they can share with you. I went through a tough time and I need help. Simple stuff. Water. Water the person. Instead of, you try like a wood and ready to be burned. Young kids, you have problem with your family. I'm speaking of your parents. You're not perfect. Neither your parents is perfect. Older kids, you have problem in school, dating, girlfriends, school, grading, blah, 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 and go on. Older, you have problem at work, you have problem, other unspeakable problem. What do you tell? Hopefully that we can water each other. Hopefully we can take care of each other by simply being vulnerable. Right? And if you be vulnerable, the problem is we are lack of trust. Starting with God, we lack of trust of God. If I tell somebody something particular in church, the person will talk bad about me, which is maybe true. But if you're being vulnerable because you're obedient to God, let God take care of it. Because some of your problem that you're facing, other people may facing exactly the same thing, but she or he never want to speak or dare to speak. Maybe you heal somebody by being vulnerable. So hopefully, again, live out your faith when you water somebody. Be vulnerable. Trust God, don't trust the person, right? And if he's going to end up talk bad about you, let it be. But because of somebody talk bad about you, maybe that person was being healed through the process. Better yet, maybe you yourself being healed through the process. And that's what his church is about. That's what we grow. We plant. We're living our faith. We make the people next to us, at work, at home, in this community, comfortable with us, so that they can be vulnerable, so that we can water them, each other. And that's how we grow. So, when you planted, you invite your friends, and somebody in here water it, and that's how we're going to grow. That's how the church begin to grow. When Apostle Paul using I planted, Apollo water, but God gave it the growth, is this. When you're talking about planting and you're talking about growing, it's referring to farming. Anybody farming in here? Refer to farming. Most of you having an office job right now, so farming may be kind of remote from you, right? But farming is this. The farmer can plant. The farmer can take care the field, but there's no rain. Can the crop grow? You know the answer. The crop cannot grow. And that it means that God will make it grow. But the point here is, have you, or will you, doing our part, plant and water, but don't worry. If it didn't grow, at least do your part, and growing is God will make it grow. In Vietnamese, they have a saying, I pray to God so that rain come, so the crop will be grow, so that my bowl of rice will be full. That's a saying in Vietnamese. Meaning they accepted the fact that I can plant, I can water, but it ain't going to happen until God allow it to happen through the rain. You can water all you want, but if it's drought for 3 years, I can guarantee you there's no crop. They have another saying in Vietnamese, they say, thanks God, we have a good crop this year. But the first thing is thanks God. Whether they trust God or not, but they thanks God there is a rain. So they have the crop. The point here is you need to plant, you need to water, but God is the one that gave it the growth. So go back to in 2024. What is our slogan?
Growth.
Thank you. Growth. How do we grow? One plant, one water, who make it grow? God will make it grow. Will you start planning? Will you start living out your faith? Will you make a person next to you comfortable? Will you water by being vulnerable so that they maybe can cry on your shoulder? Make you invite the 8 or 15 friends or somebody that you already met in school. college, workplace to come. The last point that I want to make is this. One plant and one water, but God make it grow. If you have the crop, who's the one that benefit from it? The farmer, you. So if you plant, if you water, and God who gave it to grow, if we have the crop, you'll be benefit. How do you benefit? When you do work for God, speaking from experience, and many of you have the same experience, when you do certain thing for God, and you do really water, and you really plan, and it's happen, you feel the complete enjoyment, the reward that God gave you. Try it. Maybe we've been in the drought for years. We haven't have the good harvest. And if you have a good harvest, I believe in God, you will experience the phenomenal joys like a person, like a farmer who receive a good crops.